Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning and welcome. My name is Ryan Dodge. I work at the tourism office here at the City of Santa Fe, and I want to thank you for being here for the Indigenous Peoples Day celebration event. We have an amazing day. Thank you. We have an amazing day of dancers, songwriters, storytellers, and poets for you today. I want to read something that's pretty important that's on our poster that I hope you all see. During Santa Fe's Indigenous Peoples Day, we reserve the weekend to remember, to honor, and uphold our valued Native American neighbors from the 23 tribes, nations, and pueblos in New Mexico, and all of the wonderful Native American arts, culture, and educational institutions that give Santa Fe such a strong sense of place. I would like to introduce Governor Herrera. He is going to be kicking us off this morning with a prayer, and then we will be going to former Governor Mitch Mitchell for a quick discussion, a story of Santa Fe and the Pueblo of Tesuque. So please put your hands together for Governor Herrera from the Pueblo of Tesuque.
Santa Fe, who the moon into no agi, we waiting for you know, into the Santa Fe, no, okay, when we point into no, we waiting for you know, agi, going to the what to on the moon, teach them talking to Nambi, going to down into no, each on parading into no, Nabi, Nabi, going Sigimunity, going second money, and where people know who to got to, or Hene, going money into. I'm into now and I had it. Okay, we're going to go down into now and teach them how we go to get you won't be so wonky, or in parading into now and I had it into Santa Fe, or the know, or the Kage won't go into now, or you got to a big to the move, he won't be so wonky, or in parading, it will not be a, not be moving, or in moving into now. Not be there were he, or in moving into, or in half moving, or Becky, a middle of it, a American to. Now we got to Marang into know it, the head or to some heading and know it, but then waking on a cookie, he hot.
And now, former Governor Mark Mitchell from the Pueblo of Tesuque.
Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Mark Mitchell, former governor for the Pueblo of Tesuque. I'm going to give you a little history on Ogap Ogi. Ogap Ogi is Tesuque Pueblo, and Tesuque Pueblo is Ogap Ogi. I say that because as a young man, young little boy, growing up with my grandmother, her name was Lorencita Pino. She was a potter from Tesuque Pueblo, along with extended family, Mr. Diego Herrera, Mr. Juan Jose Pino, and others who always talked about Ogap Ogi. And mind you, growing up, I only caught on to the last Ogi. So whenever my mom and others would say, "I'm going to town," they would say, "Going, keep ogi me." And that's all I knew. So one day me and my grandmother were the only ones home, so I asked her, "What does that mean?" And she said, "Well, sit down, because this is a story you need to know." I said, "Okay." So we sat there, and she started by way of saying, in reference to the migration of the Pueblo people, pre-contact meaning Columbus, meaning Coronado's expedition. Pre-contact, time immemorial. We don't know exactly what time of the year it was, but Pueblo people were migrating from the north, and here in this vicinity is where our ancestors, Tesuque Pueblo, put their roots down. Now, she told me the number of people in that village number over 10,000 at that time. And so the location of the bigger village is out over here by the cathedral. There are two other smaller pueblos that were located over by the convention center, and the other two were located on Agua Fria. So if there's any archaeologists out there, that's LA1 and LA2. They're the ruins down by Agua Fria. And she talked to me about, this is where home was. This is where the people made their home. But for whatever reasons, knowing that things were going to change, they decided to move. And they moved 4 times before coming to our roots here where we're located now. They're in Tesuque Pueblo. Now the word Tesuque comes from the Spanish because they couldn't understand or how they hear Tesuque. So they use it in their own means by saying Tesuque. But it's actually called Tesuque Uinge, place of the cottonwood trees that grows in the narrow row. So since that time, it was all oral history for me. Everything was oral until 2005, when I became or was appointed governor for the Pueblo of Tesuque. At that time, the city of Santa Fe, under the leadership of then Mayor Larry Delgado, decided to do a project here in town at the convention center. And what they wanted to do was build out the convention center to the whole city block. But unfortunately for them and fortunate for us, they came across ruins. They came across burial sites. And for me, this is what I told them. The only thing you did for me and my people in Tesuque is you strengthened our oral history by way of finding what was found. Human remains were there. Pueblo kiva structures were still there. Pottery were still there. Everything that I was told in our oral history, in my oral history, that all came out. So today, as leaders of Tesuque Pueblo, we say to everybody, welcome to the homelands of Tesuque Pueblo, because you're standing on our homelands. And let us not forget that in today's world and society, there's always got to be scientific data. There's always got to be some type of proof. But if you really look at the landscape, there's a lot happening out there. And part of our traditional and religious ties are into the land. So We wanted to share this today on Indigenous Peoples Day so that everybody understands that you are standing on Tesuque homelands, ancestral homelands. And I hope that I've given you a little bit of what I was told by my grandmother and those that I mentioned before. So with that, again, welcome to the ancestral homelands of Tesuque Pueblo. My name is Mark Mitchell, former governor, and I am the current Tribal Historic Preservation Officer for the tribe. Thank you.
Good morning. Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. My name is Christina M. Castro. I am Jemez and Tesuque Pueblo. I am one of the proud organizers of today's festivities. I hope you enjoy this beautiful day, this sacred and beautiful day. It's really special for us as Pueblo people and Indigenous people to be acknowledged. Every day is Indigenous Peoples Day to us, but it's nice to have that recognition in a federal and state holiday. So moving on in the agenda, I'm going to introduce the Tesuque Pueblo Day School Dance Group. This is the entire student body of this elementary school at Tesuque Pueblo.
พูดเอาเหรอ live sections.
The agriculture one?
That's the only initiative now we do growing. Everything else is perfect.
It's true. There's an interview with Wes Jackson in there. Agriculturalist. And he essentially says this is bad.
It is an interesting time.
Let's put our hands together one more time for the Tesuque Day School dance. They were amazing, weren't they? We're going to take a little break. At 11 o'clock, we're going to start our Dignitary. At 11 o'clock, we're going to start our Dignitary event. And so stick with us. Stand by. Thank you again for being here. I do want to mention that we have t-shirts for sale, as well as posters for sale right over here on the right side of the stage. The Santa Fe Indian Center is here. The artist George Toya did the artwork this year for us, as well as the last couple years. And we're very lucky to have him here with us today. So please go check out some of the vendors and the booths around the plaza. All the benefit of the posters and t-shirt sales go to the Santa Fe Indian Center. So please go check that out. And thank you again for being here. Thanks for all the vendors that are here. And we'll start back up at 11 o'clock. Thanks.
Wow.
How's the network going?
It's going into viral spaces. It's becoming too much work.
Yeah.
But we're reaching now about 4.5 million. It keeps going out. It's an organic type of thing. And haven't found a way to really promote it. It's a platform that's out there and keeps going. So we'll just keep going with it. I don't know. I mean, we have some serious issues. We're now getting some new technology and all of that stuff is really
The bleeding edge?
these are leading edge
Oh.
one step beyond step And you see, meanwhile, Facebook is getting just more and more Trump-like. It's really getting to head censorship. They're really censoring the black community.
Oh, yeah.
And people on the internet tell you what's going on. And we just did that Africa fella, Fiesta fella concert.
Oh, yeah, at the rail yard?
So we got in touch a little bit with the black community and boy, Facebook
Oh, yeah?
on censorship and strange things going on. So
I was thinking of doing a section of Free Times on Black history and experience in New Mexico. I haven't done that before. Kind of one of those clipping articles that are relevant. So when I eventually do that, hopefully.
Well, that Kumaju platforms, the guy that you want to talk to.
Oh, yeah?
He's the one who kind of heads up the cultural part of the black community.
Well, I'll be
And
right
there was
back.
Yeah. See
I'll
you
be
in a
right
little
back. Yeah, put my jacket there.
I know, I got to
And
see the kids are lining up.
there's an active Cameroonian community here in that apparently is quite involved with the city, maintenance, things like that. And they did a wonderful performance. It was so great. They did a round dance.
This was last Sunday, wasn't it?
Past Sunday,
Yeah.
yesterday.
Oh, yesterday.
No, the day before.
The day before, yeah.
Yes, I haven't posted anything yet. It's just so backed up. But keep going. It's still
Yeah.
and we'll see where it ends up. I have no idea. It's such a volatile time right now.
Yeah.
But I'm not touching anything about the national politics. Not touching.
Sure.
It's so much of that poison around.
Yeah.
And I just want to stay on the cultural part, the positive message, which is part of why it's growing like it is. All of the other native media is just into the Western headline,
Yeah.
the headline news.
Yeah.
And,
So you have a small key staff that works with you?
myself and Leon,
Yep.
but really Leon and I are doing all the work. Yeah, we can't afford to be First of all, we're kind of in a new space, so nobody really knows what we're doing, and we're developing all of our own kind of conventions and how to get the message out.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of work, a lot of hours. And, yeah, we'll see. I have no idea. The good part is that we're not doing any harm to anybody. We're out there and we're promoting the native voice.
Yeah.
I think it's influencing quite a few people. Next week we'll be doing the NCAI.
Where?
Albuquerque.
Oh, that's an Albuquerque.
Because they are totally into this whole political
Yeah.
thing.
Very tied into the gaming.
The gaming, and there's quite a few Trumpers.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. They see it from an economic expediency index.
Yeah.
But I just, that really just riles me. Because that's short-sighted.
Yeah.
You're totally into a political. They're going to be coming out. I think we're going to be doing mostly we can't do any of the workshops. That
Oh, yeah.
because they don't want anybody, broadcasting things that are not real. But we are going to be doing most of the plenaries. Plenaries and done some interviews and stuff.
Where's it being held?
Convention center. It's big. So we'll see. I don't know how many interviews we get.
Yeah, an opportunity to connect with some people that otherwise might be a challenge to connect with.
Yeah.
I last went to that one about 5 years ago, I think. Well, the last time I was in Albuquerque.
No, I didn't do that one. We've been doing it the last 5 years. Last year they were in Denver. They were up there. And the year before, I think they were in Tulsa. And the year before they were in Oklahoma City. That's where we launched our first live broadcast. was at NCAI. Yeah.
We'll get some the balloon fiesta folks around, I think.
Ah.
Ended Sunday.
I did the San Felipe powwow.
I don't know about that one.
Well, they didn't do any publicity at all. There weren't very many people there. But it was good. There were some nice high spots. It doesn't have to be big
Yeah.
to have that feeling to it.
Do they have performance? Oh, okay. 여기서 45. 주시오. 지금 사진 찍고
Oh, I love that it turns to be so nice outside.
Yeah,
You know?
Do you know Seth?
I know I've seen you around. Hi, Seth.
Seth does the Green Fire Towns.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
So
okay,
this
okay.
creative-
Oh, okay, okay. Nice.
Another creator,
Ah, that's a good
influencer.
thing. Ah,
The new word these days.
ah.
Anyway, your photography's really, really getting good. It's wonderful.
Really?
Yeah.
I really like taking, photographs. That's good.
The world around you.
Right, right. Yeah, well now also it's a really nice season. The leaves are changing colors on the trees and stuff like that.
Anyway, so it's going.
So you're not down across the street anymore?
No, they
There was
wanted
no-
too much money.
Okay, yeah, understandable. Understandable.
Yeah, and there was just nothing going on there.
Right.
So Samsville took another space over where who was in there? Well, that was Boone, right?
Yeah, I
And
think
then
so.
Boone
Yeah.
moved
Oh, yeah, yeah,
downstairs.
yeah. Oh,
And,
okay. And something
we
else is
could
up
have
there.
increased, the little rent that we were paying. But there's absolutely
Well, there's no
nothing
business.
going
Yeah,
on.
no business.
Nothing.
Yeah. So
And,
what's the sense? Yeah.
So, I made a thing that if they have another space that opens up, we'll do like a pop-up gallery there or something.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes
Just to
sense.
keep it going through the Christmas. But unless you put the energy into it, nothing happens.
Right. That's true.
We've been so busy with this stuff.
Oh, I saw. That's really great. That's really, yeah, no, your site is really, really good. Yeah.
And, well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Leon and I are working. There's issues right now that we have to deal with.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna do this and take pictures too. With my camera, I'm gonna do this and take a couple of pictures with my.
Sure. No, we're doing a live feed on this. Probably talking is going out too.
The what? Oh. Oh my God, are you kidding me? Oh, that's
We're
okay.
just keeping it live.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I don't think anybody's listening.
I don't think so either.
But sometime it's maybe YouTube. People get a little bit of
Well, it is. Yeah, it's a really nice day because when I got up, it was like in the 40s. I know.
There are various performances and presentations and tribal and city leaders.
politicians.
Right. Well, but then people from the tribe too. That's what I really want to
I think he took the kids back.
And then at 2 o'clock today, there's something happening at the Villarreal. A couple of artists.
Just see something.
But it's like at this during like today and this past weekend, I wanted to be in 2 places at one time, and I.
Well, it's possible. It's like mental framework.
How was it?
I guess you've been here since earlier.
We came up early to set up, get the power in, get a good location.
So you probably had coffee earlier.
I'm out of it already, yeah.
I didn't want to be late, so.
Well, it's to get a good position, you really have to be early, otherwise you fight
Right.
with crowds.
That's the one I wanted.
But they're actually treating us with some respect, which is amazing.
As they should.
Last year they were pushing us around. You can't stand here, you can't stand there. This year they gave us a table right on here, right on the plaza. So,
Okay, so it's
yeah, we have a table.
all right.
Leon wanted to maybe bring some bugs, but
Oh yeah, that would have been a good idea.
last year
Would've been a
we had
schlep,
a table, I
but-
brought some bugs and
And?
people just took them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I see.
So,
Okay. Well, then that's a different story. I was here yesterday a little bit. I was here yesterday a little bit and the day before a little bit. There was a hoop dance from this youth hoop. Oh my gosh.
the
She was
lightning,
doing like flips and stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, she was really good.
yeah, that you're doing
It's so
a
good.
whole training program there, lightning boy.
Oh yeah, that and then some other tribes.
Really?
Yeah, so somebody from a different, I think it was somewhere. Oh wait, actually, wait, I got this text. although I could look it up online, but I'd rather have a piece of paper and a sketch. So, yeah, no, they were from what?
Hawaii.
Yeah, it was a different.
No, it's the same one.
Oh,
It's
is
the
it the
lightning
same?
wood.
Oh, okay. This doesn't say. Oh, okay. Well, anyway, they're all really good.
This dance group, then 11.
It's probably.
Blah, blah, blah. Lucy.
Dances, storytelling, Indigenous history. Okay, so that's 115 to 145. Oh, man, I'm going to have to leave after this. I guess Lucy later.
Sages are very good. Those with, what's it? The rapper, Define.
Oh,
We'll stay. I'm going to say hello to Christina.
Now I'm organized.
Actually, I'm photographing it for you. Yeah. Actually,
Well, I was like, oh, I want to try jiu-jitsu. I don't want to do CrossFit though. I'll hurt myself.
13 years ago.
It's amazing that I've never seen it work.
Mind if I do? We're just going to take a picture of this setup for a friend of mine.
oh, okay. It works well.
Which side do you want?
Well, that's what I want to talk about. Yeah.
Pacific Islands. It's got Tonga, Maori, Samoans, and my friend who actually works in shop there did it. He used to own a shop up there.
Yeah, so get it.
My spirit, you don't come in.
In case they need an emergency flyer, I know where it is.
Spirit guide's right here. Know your spirit. He's right here. Protection. He's right here with my parents' knees. There's two fish in the back of my boy. I'm not living here. Valhalla, which is like a mag, and that's your roots, your clan, your family. Trying to keep some protection. Starfish, it's another form of Valhalla.
Maybe you just want to read this? Yeah, sure.
Starfish.
You're right on the edge of the
My brother's spirit.
stage.
Right.
Right beyond the equipment, the head of it's back there. If not, I have two on the table.
You know,
But they were just on the other side of the sun.
yesterday there was like a table, yeah, with the poster that the artist.
On the other side of the soundboard, there was a stack of programs.
Oh, not a program, but the
The
poster.
poster that's hanging up.
No. The artist,
Or George Toya.
yeah. He did
George
this.
has a really good face right there.
Because I plan on getting this, yeah.
I don't know what it's. But he
Yeah,
has a pen.
he was here yesterday, and they had it there, but they were over here. So I got it was last year's t-shirt, but I like the design on that too. But I wanted to get this poster, so I'm going to do that today.
No, he's a great
Yeah,
artist.
he is. I know.
Emperor Udall. I guess she does some kind of exercise thing.
have to cleverize the language.
Yeah, heck yeah. Gotta keep up with the, you know, gotta keep up.
What else do I need to know?
So, we are going to open.
That fellow that just passed by holds some of the original patents for Xerox.
I don't know if they will.
And
Well, I'll
sometimes
just
I forget his name right now, but years ago he came over. Interesting.
Oh, wow. That holds the cat. Wow. That's incredible.
Yeah. Wow.
And then each person will just do
Thanks.
You want it?
This is pretty well set up.
I did not know that.
So hard to photograph with the shade and the bright light of the speaker to try and get them all appear in an image.
Well, this one is pretty well set up. Oh, and that helps with the light?
Yeah. Kind of balances it out. If all that it does.
Otamu. Good morning. That was good day in Tewa. It's a great day to be Indigenous. Do we have any Indigenous folks out there? Woo! We're going to go ahead and get started with today's Dignitary event. Thank you all for coming and celebrating, honoring Indigenous people today. My name is Christina M. Castro. I am co-founder of Three Sisters Collective and also co-organizer of today's events. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you to all the tribal officials, governors, governor staff, current governors, former governors, state and city officials.
That's it.
Thank you all for being here to share in this day with us. We're going to have the first couple of speakers, starting with Tesuque Pueblo Governor Milton Herrera, followed by welcomes and introductions by our Mayor of Santa Fe, Alan Weber.
Good morning again. As introduced, my name is Governor Milton Herrera from the Pueblo of Tesuque. Good morning and welcome to the homelands of Tesuque Pueblo, known as Ogap Oge. Greetings to my fellow tribal governors. Today I have with me former Governor Mark Mitchell, former Governor Charlie Darmy, Lieutenant Governor Travis Vigil, Councilman Gerald Mitchell, Michael Chavarria from the Governor from Santa Clara Pueblo, Governor from San Alfonso Pueblo, Perry Martinez, and county commissioners. And Mayor Weber, of course. Today Santa Fe is recognizing Indigenous Peoples Day for the third year in a row. In addition to the dozens of cities throughout the U.S. and 4 other states, New Mexico, just this past legislative session, also replaced the second Monday in October from Columbus Day to Indigenous Peoples Day. That resolve, I believe, was due not only in part that Native Americans, the first Americans, make up at least 10% of the state's population, but also there are 23 sovereign tribal nations that exist in the state of New Mexico. Our tribes are living and thriving in this state, sometimes living in 2 different worlds, where we are working to maintain our language, our traditions, and at the same time, building businesses to provide jobs for our people and other state citizens, so that we may generate revenue for our tribal government as well as contribute to the state's economy. Our resilience, oftentimes rooted in resistance, has developed into collaboration and a culture intertwined with our neighbors. Our traditional prayers and dances not only request blessings for the health, safety, and prosperity of our tribal people, our tribal communities, and our future generations, but they also encompass blessings for the health, safety, and prosperity of every person, so that we can accomplish goals that are beneficial to all of us. The recognition and appreciation of Indigenous peoples promotes understanding, unity, and the idea that regardless of our very complex history, we are neighbors and partners working to reconcile and embrace our differences. Build figurative bridges and not actual walls. We acknowledge that every culture brings value to our communities, all in anticipation that we realize a future that our next generation will be proud of. It's a good day to be Indigenous. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Please, another round of applause for Governor Herrera. It is such an honor to have a neighbor, a friend, an ally in all of the Pueblos, and Governor Herrera is a special friend with whom I've had the great pleasure of working. I'm Alan Weber. I'm the mayor of Santa Fe, and it's my honor to welcome you here and to introduce a few more people who are on the stage with us today. From Governor Udall's office, Joshua Sanchez. Joining us soon, I think, will be Lucy Tapahanso to read us a poem, a Diné poem. Archbishop Wester is here to lead us in a closing prayer. From the City Council, my friends and colleagues, Councilwoman Renee Villarreal, Councilwoman Carol Romero-Worth. From the County Commission, Commissioners Anna Hansen and Ed Moreno. We have State Representative Georgine Lewis with us. And on her way Secretary Trujillo from the New Mexico Indian Affairs Department, and Deputy Padilla is here with us as well. If I've left anybody out, I apologize. It's not personal, it's just bad leadership by the mayor. So, welcome to you all. I wanted to just say a few words, first, particularly on Indigenous Peoples Day, to acknowledge that this is Tewa land that we are on. If you look up to the cathedral, if you look down to the convention center, those are sites that in the history of northern New Mexico, Pueblo people settled and set up their community on sacred land. They named our community before we were here. They gave us the blessings of this land and the lessons of history and of how to live here. And without their help, without their welcome, without their hospitality, none of us who are here today would be able to live in peace together. The name Indigenous Peoples Day is really more than just a name change. It really is a change of awareness and a change of consciousness as we reflect on the meaning of history and who we are as a people. It requires of us, as we celebrate Indigenous Peoples Day, to provide an honest accounting of our past, as Governor Herrera said. We need to be honest about the pain, and we need to be honest about the joy that has taken place in this location over thousands of years. We need to accept responsibility for the past, even as we create reconciliation among our people and build together an even better future. And that is the work of every day in Santa Fe and northern New Mexico, but a special day for Indigenous Peoples Day. Thank you. I know we'll have some very eloquent words from our other speakers. To conclude my brief remarks, I want to read a poem that is the beginning, the blessing that begins the book White Shell Water Place, an anthology of Native American reflections written and compiled for the 400th anniversary of the founding of Santa Fe, a poem written by N. Scott Momaday that I think is really appropriate for today. It's called Blessing. On this place may blessings abound, among these valleys and mountains, along ancient trails of trade and pilgrimage, where the waters of the sky fall in fringes of rain and grain rises from the fields, where animals graze in the meadows and run wild in the forests, where ravens and hawks have dominion over the blue and purple summits. On this place may blessings abound. Bless our ancestors, may we honor them. Bless our children, may we be ever thankful for them. Bless the unborn, may they inherit the good in us. Bless us who make this prayer, may we be worthy. On this place may blessings abound. Here in this house of art and learning, may our bodies be strong. Here in this house of art and learning, may our minds be open and clear. Here in this house of art and learning, may our spirits be one with creation. On this place may blessings abound. All our lives may we know truth. All our lives may we know the beautiful. All our lives may we know inspiration. All our lives may we know the sacred within us. On this place may blessings abound. Let us live happily inside these words. Let us live peacefully inside these words. Let us live thankfully inside these words. Let us be wholly alive inside these words. In holiness do we make our prayer. In holiness do we make our prayer. N. Scott Momaday. Thank you. Now, Governor Chavarria.
We are in the no city town, no one was about. One take his own, we are hit, I quit, we are in on it, We are going to go and how he answered my mother, whatever he was for man. We are going to come. Well, good morning, everyone. My name is Michael Chavarria, and I serve as governor for Santa Clara Pueblo. Today I'm representing the All Pueblo Council of Governor. I serve as a vice chairman of that consortium, which are the 19 pueblos here in New Mexico, to include the Pueblo of Ciudad del Sur down in Texas. So it is my pleasure to welcome you to New Mexico's first Indigenous Peoples Day. The celebration of this day has been long coming, and I'm very excited that New Mexico has decided to make the move to acknowledge today as a day of celebration and commemorate our shared history and culture. As Native people, it is important that our contributions to the history of the state, which really is all our history, is acknowledged. The shared history is the foundation of our shared sense of community, friendship, and success as we move forward. As Governor Herrera mentioned, Native Americans make up 10% of our population of the state, and one of the largest contributions to the state's economy through hospitality, retail, art, culture, tourism. Indeed, culture tourism is one of the biggest reasons many tourists choose to visit the state of New Mexico, from all over the world. Without tribal and Native people contributions to art, music, and culture, the state as a whole would be substantially different and, in my opinion, lesser for that. Indeed, only last week, Washington, D.C. joined New Mexico in acknowledging today as Indigenous Peoples Day. New Mexico may not have been the first state to make this change, but is helping to lead the way. Most recently, Vermont and Maine have also joined in. And so it's very important, it's very important to acknowledge us as Native Indigenous peoples. We've been in this location since time immemorial. It goes back to our traditions, our cultures, and prayers, but most importantly is our native language. Our native language is that glue that holds our traditions and culture, religions together. Yes, we face many challenges, but we also remain resilient in the eyes of those challenges. So as tribal leaders, it's very important to stress to our community the importance of loving, caring, and respecting. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes in our lives. And today we ask each and every one of you to love and care and respect one another, for we don't know when our time is going to come. As they tell us, we're here on borrowed time. Only the Creator knows when our time is going to come and when He's going to call us to that next world. So now that we're alive, we must love and care and respect each other. Respect ourselves, respect our community, because it's very important that legacy that we leave behind for our children, as they're going to be the future leaders of tomorrow. So we can't be fighting, bickering with one another. There's no room for that. And so that we go back to the power of prayer, asking the Creator every day in and day out, to look down upon all of us, to give us that strength and that courage to continue to be successful in all of our lives. Doesn't matter if it's native or non-native, but today is a day of celebration. And as we seen this morning with the kids from the Tesuque school, that's who we are. Is having to teach our children to carry on our traditions, our culture, through the songs, through the prayer, because one of these days it's going to be their turn to be in this position as a tribal leader, as a cultural leader. And so it's very important that we share our experiences, our knowledge with them, so that when their opportunity is here, that foundation that we created, they can be successful and move forward. And so it's very important, as the 19 pueblos here in New Mexico, to include the Pueblo of Ciudad del Sur, work with our congressional delegations in Washington, D.C., also with the state legislature, because there's so many challenges that are still out and about there, that we got to work together to combat these situations. You know, we're not immune. We have drug problems, alcoholism in our communities, domestic violence, suicide. Like I say, we're not immune to many of these things, but it's all of us working together that's going to help us. And what helps gets that accomplished is the power of prayer. Having that belief day in and day out was going to help us remain resilient and accomplish the goals that we want in our life, is to be successful. And the things that we do today is not for us, but it's for our children and the generations that are yet to come. So with that, I'd just like to thank all of you for coming today. I hope that we can all enjoy a day as a day of our cultures coming together. and celebrating a shared diversity. So with that, kundawaha. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Guati Halpa, Katawa Halpa, Traitra. Good morning, everybody. My name is Joshua Sanchez, and I'm a field representative for United States Senator Tom Udall. Unfortunately, the senator isn't able to make it this morning, but I have a short statement to read on his behalf. Greetings, everybody. It is an honor to celebrate Indigenous Peoples Today on its first day as a New Mexico state holiday. Our state legislature and Governor Lujan Grisham are to be wholeheartedly congratulated for stepping forward and recognizing both the cruel history of the European takeover of native lands and subjugation of native peoples and the rich cultures of our indigenous peoples and make their remarkable survival and resilience. New Mexico is defined and united by our diversity of our cultures. We're home to 23 federally recognized tribes and have the second highest percentage of Native Americans here, over 10%. Native culture is woven into our art, our food, our architecture. New Mexico is richer and more vibrant for this. The historic and present-day struggles of Native peoples in our nation cannot be minimized, overlooked, or ignored. We must stare our history straight in the face and vow to remedy past wrongs and strengthen Native culture, economic development, and independence. We must vow to respect the sovereignty of Native tribes and pueblos, honor their self-determination, and ensure full opportunity to participate in all decisions that affect them. I have been deeply honored for 3 years to serve as the lead Democrat on the Senate Indian Affairs Committee. We have a tradition of working on a bipartisan basis in that committee to get things done. I'm proud that tradition has continued as we work forward to making sure that all Native peoples and communities have access to affordable, quality healthcare and education and good jobs and housing. I am fighting hard to preserve Native culture and history here in New Mexico and throughout the nation. We are moving forward with protecting the greater Chaco landscape from development. There are literally thousands of Native artifacts and sites in that region. In a bill coming out of the Appropriations Committee where I sit, we secured language directing the Bureau of Land Management to refrain from energy leasing within a 10-mile radius of the Chaco National Historical Park, and provided $1 million to survey the cultural resources in the broader Chacoan region. I am continuing to work to restore Bears Ears and Grand Staircase Escalante national monuments to original boundaries after being slashed by the current administration. These sacred areas must be preserved for the future. Thank you to everyone who is here. Today, together, we recognize our history, honor our indigenous peoples, and recommit to strengthen Native peoples and communities here throughout the nation. Thank you again, United States Senator Tom Udall. And I have the opportunity to introduce the governor from San Alfonso Pueblo, Perry Martinez.
Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce a personal friend of mine, a writing mentor, a lovely Dene woman who is currently, I believe, the Dene Poet Laureate. She was my professor at the University of Arizona when I was in the creative writing MFA program, so we go way back. And she would like to offer some poetry for today and for you all. So let us welcome Lucy Tapahanso.
Yad Bene, good morning. It's a beautiful day for us to gather here. I'm Todik Oshedo, Todik Eating Bashichin, Dashini Dashichedo, Kintichi Dashanale, not only Nasa Egisinasha, I could out Nasan Shle. So I've told you my plans, and I'm originally from Shiprock, and am going to be living between here and Shiprock the last few years. I'm going to just read a few pieces. The beginning was mist. The first holy ones talked and sang as always. They created light, night, and day. They sang into place the mountains, the rivers, plants, and animals. They sang us into life. This morning we gather in gratitude for all aspects of sacredness. The air, the warmth of fire, bodies of water, plants, the land, and all animals and humankind. We gather to honor our relatives. We gather to honor our parents, grandparents, children, family members, and friends. We honor their resilience and devotion. May we remember that holiness exists in the ordinary elements of our lives. We are grateful for a homeland that has always thrived on a glorious array of people and their diverse cultures, histories, and beliefs. We acknowledge the generosity of the Tesuque people in granting this land on which we learn, celebrate accomplishments, and sometimes mourn losses. May we always cherish our ancestors as we prepare for the days ahead. May we remember that we exist because of their prayers and their faith. We are blessed with distinct and melodious tongues. Our languages are treasures of songs, stories, ceremonies, and memories. May each of us remember to share our stories with one another, because it is only through stories that we live full lives. May the words we speak go forth as bright beads of comfort, joy, humor, and inspiration. We have faith that all here will inspire others to explore and follow their interests. Today we reflect a rainbow of creation. Some came from the east, where bright crystals of creativity reside. They are the white streaks of early morning light when all is born again. We understand that the Sangre de Cristos are our inspiration for beginning each day. They are everlasting and always present. Those who came from the south embody the strength of the blue mountains that encircle us. The Mount Taylor instills in us the vigorous spirit of youthful learning. Others came from the west. They are imbued with the quiet yellow glow of dusk. They help us achieve our goals. Here in the middle of the valley, the basket of life teaches us to value our families. Those from the north bring the deep restorative powers of night's darkness. Their presence renews us. The mountains teach us that though the past may be fraught with sorrow, it was strengthened by the prayers of our forebears. We understand that we are surrounded by mountains, Zith. Thus we are made of strength, we are strong ourselves. We are surrounded by mountains that help us negotiate our daily lives. May we always recognize the multitude of gifts that surround us. May our homes, churches, and communities be filled with the wisdom and optimism that reflect a generous spirit. We are grateful for all blessings seen and unseen. May we fulfill the lives envisioned for us at our birth. May we realize that our actions affect all people and the earth. May we live in the way of beauty and help others in need. May we always remember that we are created as people. We were created as people who believe in one another. We are grateful, Nikidigan, holy ones, for everyone here as they will strengthen our future. All is beautiful again. Hoshonahasli, 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 Hoshonahasli. And then I'll end with this very brief one. And I want to thank everyone for being here and for the invitation to share, for inviting me to share in this really momentous event, and something that we have waited for a long time. We must remember the worlds our ancestors traveled, always wear the songs they gave us. Remember, we are made of prayers. Now we leave wrapped in old blankets of love and wisdom. I see. Thank you very much. Lucy, thank you for your words. So can you practice saying thank you in Dene with me? Awesome. Before we continue, I would just like to acknowledge State Secretary of Affairs Lynn Trujillo has joined us. Also, Dr. Robert Martin, President of IAIA, the Institute of American Indian Arts, the only tribal college in the United States that's dedicated to the preservation of Indian arts and culture. Right here in our backyard. It's great. Okay, so moving on, get my agenda. We would like to invite up Archbishop John Wester for a closing to our Dignitary event agenda. And then we are going to have a short recess and the afternoon performances, which are going to be amazing, will start at 12:30. I encourage you all to look around at all the booths and see all the Native organizations that serve the community. And yes. Yes, and you also want to acknowledge Lieutenant Governor Garcia from Giwa, Santo Domingo, Pueblo. Thank you. Thank you all again. And Archbishop, are you?
Let us pray. God, creator of us all, we give you thanks and praise gathering here today on this Indigenous Peoples Day. We acknowledge you as all-powerful, all-loving, all-knowing. And yet we also acknowledge your presence with us now at the core of our being. We thank you particularly, loving God, for gathering us this day as we honor the rich cultural heritage that is ours. As we come together as many peoples, many ideas, many lands, but in a special way honoring those who inhabited this land first. We thank you for reminding us this day that we're called not to compete but to complement, not to put down but to lift up, not to surpass but to journey together. And we ask that we will especially honor those Indigenous peoples who have left us so much and who continue to give us so much, as together we are one people. We ask you to bless us and to watch over us and to especially help us to honor those values that our ancestors have handed on to us. Help us now this day to lift up our hearts in prayer and giving thanks for this rich land and these wonderful Indigenous people who are our brothers and sisters. We make this prayer in confidence. Amen.
Thank you all again. Tribal governors, representatives, state and city representatives, Archbishop John Wester, Lucy Tapahanso. Thank you again. We are going to have a short intermission, but I also encourage you to visit. There are t-shirts for today's event available right over here at the American Indian Center booth. All proceeds will be benefiting the American Indian Center. And this year's design for Indigenous Peoples Day 2019 is designed by George Toya from Jemez Pueblo. Thank you, and we will resume at 12:30.
I'm going to say hello to Michael Chavarria. I used to play with him when he was this big.
Oh my gosh.
So,
Yes, that's all. It's just right there. Right. Let's walk around this way. Yeah. You see You should be in the picture too. Oh, I'm gonna go take a picture. Yeah.
yeah.
Get that off of him? Put it on the air.
So we can donate it. Donate it to the Indian Center.
Is it really?
by the obelisk.
Get a little return.
Hey, Governor, how you doing? I'm going to walk with you. I'll see you later. Have a good one. Thank you.
Okay? Not now. What are you going to do all day? Hang around? How am I going to get a chance to see you? Am I going to call you or see you on the camera or what? Oh, you ain't that busy. Right, gotta be seeing you. That's not going to come back here. Yeah, you can't always work. You drink at all? Margarita? No margaritas. Good work. Yeah. It's nice to see you. Yeah. Yeah, you just missed the birthday.
So my affinity to jazz goes back that far. So as a Greece
Okay.
I was on the first boat with my dad.
I love everything camel. Yes. It's so pretty and it looks so well. And it's
Dennis Banks, John Chabelle, Adam Normal, all these guys in the last 10, 15 years have passed away. But I was there at 10 years old. And so for my family lineage, for me being alone, what's this one for you?
timer, huh? Yeah, good dog, huh?
Safe travels back. Thank you.
So is it a 2 or 4 year deal with you? Because my oldest, Nani, my oldest daughter, she was out at the Changa this last week with the National Native American Curators. And so she was out there and she made presentations and stuff. I don't know, but I saw Danella and some other girl from Hawaii with Marita on Instagram. Was that a big conference? A lot of people? Huge. What's going on in that? And now to see some of these second, third, fourth generation kids now you guys have come out. And you know, right now to see where Davis is at, unbelievable. And then your new one that graduated, Pablo. He's now at Chicago Art Institute. He did the big 3 sculpture studio. But she was here, I saw her at Buffalo St. Marie Thursday night. That was cool. Yeah. Rachel.
Y'all can't leave this area. Good luck on your sabbatical. Enjoy. Because it's not cold anymore.
Well, I'm tired. I did the Galisteo studio thing. I did better out there than I did for you. I'm friends with Denise Lynch. Her mom is Priscilla Hoback. Priscilla's mom was Rosalie Murphy, the whole family, and Kate Rosie.
We had one last year.
Yeah. Well, she passed away a year ago. But people that came Saturday and we had a conversation yesterday morning, this is really the kids. We had about 500 people show up Saturday. Her boyfriend, which is Captain Shannon, with number 1, who does the news everything on the radio. She does the search for stuff. But we had about 500 people. We had probably about 60 artists that came thinking of all stuff that was going on. What's Denise up to? Well, there's a collective of 7 other artists. So I just stopped and I just hit the door. 2 aliens, 4 witches, and some other artists that are on the tape. And we served first week Saturday morning. It was next year. People were just, and then like after listening to all the music, they were recording and it was like Sally McKick. It was fun.
Sam, when is that?
Personally, this year, whoever's going to be dealing with, a donation for the gala, this year they dropped it. Getting something from it, I committed to it. And so, I just want, from me to you, you just send somebody from your office over to my studio. And you guys have my number. Just get somebody, let's say, Asian, they can come and select something. And I'll give you guys something. You guys. Just as long as like, take a date.
Well, why don't we, nothing seems to be happening today, so should we go for this spot to sit? Yeah, that's
all right, man. We'll see you later. Take care.
I'm just gonna go right over here. Grab your stuff.
Okay, but where can I send this? I don't. Is her? Her. What's her name? Oh, yeah. Hey, tell me what.
She was down.
Aaron, stick with Brooklyn. Aaron! That's more than one! I need your help!
Saving chairs?
You're not going to hear that long. Dancers, yeah.
We did too. We were here, 5 minutes ago. It was supposed to be 4. She already did it a while back. She was away from Steve.
Okay, so I got Costa.
You got it.
Yeah, no, because I said the other day I was going to get it, but I just didn't feel like carrying it. Yeah. Well, you know, I should have find it. What do you think? Well, the only thing that's...
Oh, very nice. It's beautiful.
Sign it? Would you like to ask me to sign it?
Sure.
But I don't know, felt tip or rubber. Think it would work? Yeah, it is. The only thing is, a felt tip probably, I wondered if you would be able to sign it.
You're up.
Oh, you did? I didn't even see
Yeah. That's why I'm so lucky.
okay.
I'm missing something here.
Okay, oh, then it's okay. That's right. I'm glad you saw that. All right, that's a lovely thing. You got a frame for this now.
You need some wall space.
Yeah, I have some. I'm over. Yeah. Okay. Very cool.
Here.
We could sit down if you guys want to do that. Well, let's look on the other side.
They have a pretty good Wi-Fi set up here.
Yeah, I know.
City.
Oh, okay. I don't really have trouble with the Wi-Fi. Actually, I'm living over at the Reserve now. I'm renting there, the Reserve condos. And so the Wi-Fi is better there than where I was at the Alameda. Because I used to always drop cord. It was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
But not where I am now.
Hey, Carmen. Hello. Oh.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Excellent.
That's good, that's good.
Let me just say.
What?
Let me just see if I can send another one.
11:58. Oh, okay. Okay, well, I think I'm going to walk around a little bit. Oh, it's a little chilly. But you know what? I don't know if this will... I'm going to leave this here, all right?
Sure. Yeah.
I don't think it'll blow away. Oh, well.
What's happening? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
You know what they're doing next? Is it a performance?
What?
Is it a performance next?
Yeah. 12 o'clock. They're going to do some of the dances and stuff like that. Good job.
I'm calling you right now. Day off.
It's about 5 or 6 years.
Well, I don't know. I was trying to, but I'm having no luck. So go either way. Yeah. Bullet spring.
The other place, your other place.
I was joking about that earlier this morning.
I'd like to Guys, yeah, Maya just said that she should sit. So we can all sit too.
We're gonna go to ground and sit back to life.
This way. Guys,
You two are on this end. Will you be taking?
I was actually, I wasn't trying to blow it off into your face. I was trying to colonialist and colonial. Guys, it's colonial. And also it's colonial.
I like saying Cobra.
I know, it's supposed to be.
What's the shit?
You counted all of this? No.
I got 26.
I counted 28.
I stay here. Do you know what I mean? Well, I like this end.
I would like to come down here though.
Okay, but when it starts, can I come back over here? Because I can see better here. There's no one blocking my view.
Let's play telephone.
Even though mine was okay.
Alright, are you ready? You guys have to play. Whisper what I think I said. Excuse me.
Sam looks like nothing in the air.
Sam looks like nothing in the air. Nope.
What did you say?
I said it seems like nothing's happening. Okay. Well, Cameron has to start because she's at the end. All right, Cameron, you think of something and pass it to mine. Yeah.
What? It's like donkey.
You said what?
Donkey.
I was sort of right. Okay, Cameron, you said again, but do something a little bit more exciting.
Do you know what performance this is going to be?
You know, there's right there on the table.
Uh-huh.
There's a schedule. I think up next is Poet.
Okay.
But I'm not sure because what time is it?
It's almost noon. Or no, it's actually 12:16.
Yeah, so there should have been like a Poet. I don't think she came.
Okay.
I'm not sure what's next, but if you go to the table right
Okay.
there on that corner, there's the schedule with all the performances. So
Thank you.
4:30.
Where did it turn to pigeons? Who heard pigeons?
I heard pigeon.
You heard pigeons. Yeah. Start? Okay, let me think of a good thing. Yeah, here we go.
Are you from Tesuque?
No.
Oh.
Yes, hey Cameron, switch seats with Squid so she can start.
I'm from Oaxaca.
Oh.
All right, Squid, you ready? Think of something good.
I'm going to take that out.